All right. This is Arthur Carmazzi, and you'll never guess who this is. Okay, this is the one, the only, the amazing Allan Pease. Okay, you may know Allan Pease as a best-selling author of like what, 36 books or how many?
No, 18 books, 31 million legitimate copies.
Okay, 31 million legitimate copies,
Right.
Not included the ones that were copyright infringement in China.
Yeah,
but we won't talk about that.
another 16 million.
But what happens is that Allan has been extremely successful. Okay, as a trainer, coach, consultant, speaker. I mean, basically he speaks, does like crazy stuff, and of course he's written 31 million books sales. That's kind of a lot. So we're going to ask Allan. Now, I just want you to know, okay, those of you that know about the colored brain, all right, so Allan is your typical green brain, okay? I know this because I listened to him on stage, and okay, what it means is, I'm going to ask him how he got successful. You'll understand. All right? Okay, are you ready?
Yeah,
so,
I'm ready.
Allan, okay, you're Allan Pease. How did you become Allan Pease?
Well, that's a good question. But how did he become successful at doing anything? I've been successful at most things since I was a kid. And the reason being that in the 50s when I was raised as a kid, my father, he told me I could do anything. So I grew up believing I could do everything, that anything was possible. He never told me I couldn't do something. I was capable of doing anything. So that's been my mantra from the time I was a kid. And the thing I learned early in the piece, which is still the mantra I have now, is deciding what you're going to do, not how you're going to do it. Because most people start with, well, how would I become a highly successful business person? How would I become a great partner in a relationship? How would I become a multi-millionaire or whatever it is you want? They think about how. And they can't think of how, so they get disillusioned and go back to their normal life, which is what they wanted to get away from. So the starting point is decide what you're going to do, what you want to have, what you want to do, what you want to become.
Okay, and doing it, getting clarity on that, right?
Absolutely, underline, there's no risk about that, it's clearly what I'm going to do, and then you've got to avoid well-meaning people, especially family members, trying to talk you out of it. You can't do that, Art. You're too thin, too old, too fat, you're American, you're Italian, you're too hot, too cold, inflation, deflation, wars. They give you all the reasons why they can't do it.
Exactly.
So you only ever tell your goals to people who are going to support you, probably people who are doing what you want to do or have done it successfully. They can tell you which way to go, and they'll encourage you.
Okay, now this is one of the key things, right? So what you're going to do, okay, that means that when you actually have to start doing it, even though you don't know what you're doing, okay?
Yeah.
And when you start doing, okay, so what is like, when you approach something that obviously you don't know how, what do you start to do? What is it that you move forward and start doing?
Well, there's a part of the brain that sits at the top of the brain stem called the reticular activating system, about the size of a walnut, and that's the filtering system for everything that goes into your body except the smell. But taste, touch, feel, hearing, eyesight goes through the reticular system. So it's a filtering system, administration system that takes what goes to your brain. So when you decide what you're going to do, have, or become, you put that in there by underlining that's what I'm going to do. Then the RAS, the reticular activating system, starts searching the environment for what matches that, just like Google does. So it's a Google search engine. And so the minute you open a magazine or newspaper, suddenly there's somebody talking about what you decided to do, which you wouldn't have seen that article if you hadn't have underlined what you want to do.
So this is the same reason, the same reticular activating system that women are using when they suddenly notice, oh my gosh, she's wearing the same shoes as me.
Yes,
exactly,
yes.
Right? Oh my gosh. So this is one of the factors, but you won't see this unless you actually start doing it. And that's basically been your secret. Just do it.
Decide the what. Once you've decided the what, and it's scary to do that because you're putting your faith in something that you are probably going to announce to people you're going to do, and you don't know how you're going to do it. And that's why most people like to start with the how. How would I do this? And they don't know how, so that it becomes watered down and disillusioned. Just decide what, and you're going on faith with this. Faith means proceeding without evidence. No evidence is going to happen. So I'm going to do this, and suddenly your Google search engine will find the answers and you'll say, that's how you do it. Suddenly you'll be in a restaurant and you'll hear somebody talking about what you're talking about. And this happened to me. I decided to go to Russia and conquer Russia, became the new country.
Nice.
And the minute I decided to do that in 1978, I started hearing Russian accents. I don't think I'd ever heard one before. I turned TV on. There was the first program, was called Wildlife in Siberia. And I thought, that's just come on new. It'd been running for 6 months. I never saw it until I wrote it down, underlined, I go to Russia, and there it was. And we could hear accents around me. So suddenly in this restaurant one day, maybe 20 people having a coffee, I walked in and I heard a Russian accent. Above all those people, I heard a Russian accent. If it hadn't been written out, I would not have heard the accent.
So it's not just about only, one of the things that you're talking about here is also, getting the right people around you. And you had Barbara, okay?
Yeah.
So having the person that, that also believes in you, and is okay with you being a little bit crazy, okay? That's kind of important, right?
Crazy, yeah. That's true. Well, Barbara wasn't an accident either. Barbara came off a list. I wrote a list of exactly the person I want to wake up next to and be in business with in life. And I had 10 things on the list, 5 physical so I could recognise it. Had to be tall, thin, athletic, blue-eyed, blonde hair. That was compulsory. That was my stereotype. And then 5 other things, which were attitude things, about our attitude to life, money, sex, family, kids, and so on. And
we won't go into the sex part.
well, no, I haven't done that for a while either, so I understand that perfectly. So then suddenly all I could see around me were tall, blonde, athletic, blue-eyed women. And Barbara turned up and I got to talk with her, and she had some of the other factors on my list. So I intentionally put her in my RAS and sought her out. So when she turned up, I thought, that's what I'm going to look for.
So this is not just about business, it's about relationships, it's
Yeah.
about, well, pretty much
It's
anything you
anything.
want in
It's
life.
anything. I mean, most people think, well, look, most people who have a life relationship with someone or a permanent, they met them by accident. They met them at a conference, at a bar, at a pub, or somebody introduced you by a friend or online. It's an accident. It's not
Or they were your
intentional.
secretary.
Oh, you met them. 50% of relationships start at work. Of course, if you work. You write a list of exactly who you want to live with and why. So when you fall in love with this person, when hormones take over your brain and start filtering the front lobes, you can't make rational decisions for yourself. Your list will tell you what you're looking for. Without a list, you'll be motivated by hormones. They last 3 to 9 months before you wake up and go, who the hell is this?
Well, Allan, this has been absolutely amazing. I'm so honored to have this opportunity for you to share with people. So what would be one thing that you could tell people that would say, that would help them to, well, basically achieve what they want to achieve?
Well, the answer to that's in what you just said. Decide what it is you want to have, do, or become. Make it absolutely clear, underline it, and decide once you're motivated, that's what I'm going to do, have, or become. End of story, no more discussion, over and out. And someone says, yeah, but how are you going to do that, Art? You go, your answer is, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to do. If they keep saying, yeah, but how? You're too young, too old, too fat, too stupid, too smart. Whatever they say, doesn't matter. That's what I'll do. But how? Stop telling them how. Just talk to people who have done it or are doing it, and they'll show you what to do.
All right, so everyone, the amazing, the awesome, the wonderful, one and only Allan Pease.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what I said.